Good morning. You listen to FloorDaily.net, and I'm Kemp Harr. This morning, my guest is Carl Bouckaert, the founder and part owner of Beaulieu of America. Carl, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Kemp. How are you doing?
I'm well. Good to be with you. I've caught you in Belgium. I think you told me you were in Oostraten, which is just north of Antwerp on the Dutch border. And I wanted to talk to you because we just ran your news the other day that you're going to compete in the 2012 Olympics in London. That's big news. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about that. For right now, you're in Belgium because you've been selected to be on the Belgium team. Is that right?
Yeah, that is correct. And the Belgian Olympic Committee didn't release the final selection until last Thursday. So it's really hot news of the press.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And it's been 12 years since you've been in the Olympics. Just, if you don't mind me saying, Carl, you're 58 years old, so this is quite a feat for you to be in the Olympics, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it's extremely special. Very, very, very special. I had a great time when I did it the first time in Sydney in 2000. Mm-hmm. And, of course, I was 46 years old then.
Right.
But to be able to do it now again at age 58 is very, very, very special. And my riding is going really well. I've trained real hard. As a matter of fact, I feel like I'm riding better than ever. So is the coach thinking, and my teammates are saying the same thing. So it's all good, and it feels good, and I'm just very thankful and feel very privileged to be able to do this again at my stage in life here.
I guess it pays off to stay in shape. I've always kidded you. You tell me that you get up in the morning and do 300 push-ups and 300 sit-ups. If you do that for a long time, I guess you go to the Olympics, don't you?
Yeah, that's right. If you do 300 push-ups and 300 sit-ups a day for a long enough time, it pays off, that's for sure. But mainly for this sport, you just have to be in the saddle a lot, and I've been riding more than ever, really the last year and a half, 2 years. That part has really paid off.
Okay, so there's 5 members of the team that are going to the Olympics to represent Belgium, and the event you're going to be in is called dressage.
No, I'm going to be in what they call 3-day eventing.
Okay.
And 3-day eventing is like a triathlon.
Okay.
And, there is 3 separate disciplines in our sport. And the first one is dressage, which is an obedience test where you are judged by 3 judges. And it's in an arena of 20 meters by 60 meters, 66 feet by 200 feet. And you have to do all kinds of different exercises. It's like a ballet with the horse, and the horse has to do all these different side steps and extensions and the 3 different gaits. And you get quoted on the expression and on the accuracy of the exercise and of the smoothness of the exercise. So that part is judged by 3 judges. Okay. Then the next day, we do what we call the endurance phase, which is the most grueling part of the sport, and it is a cross-country over typically somewhere around between 40 and 45 jumps in the field, 6 jumps and combinations, and jumping in the water and jumping on top of banks, and then in all kinds of different combinations. Those fences are put together, and it's typically a 10 to 12-minute course, which has to be run at 570 meters a minute, which is a fast pace.
Okay.
And you have to have a very, very fit horse. And as a rider, you have to be really fit so that you don't get tired and start hindering your horse rather than helping your horse. So that's the second day. And then the third day is a stadium jumping in an arena again, just regular stadium jumping where the poles can come down. Mm-hmm. And then all the points of those 3 different disciplines are added up, and whoever has the least amount of penalty points in the end becomes the winner.
Okay. Now, is this a televised event? Do you know if people here in the U.S. can watch it when you're in competition?
Yes. I mean, pretty much all competition will be televised. I am not sure exactly how much they will show of our discipline, right, but I would suggest that your listeners would take a look on the London Olympics website, mm-hmm, and find out as much as they can on what will be televised, how and when. The opening ceremony for the Olympic Games is on the 27th of July, right, and our events we are starting the 28th, the next day, mm-hmm, 9th, the 30th, and the 31st. So the first 4 days of the games, 28, 29, 30, 31st of July, we are performing.
Okay. And so to win, I mean, it's a combination of your strength and a really good horse, right?
That's right. You have to have a good horse, but the rider really has to be good. In order to win, the rider and the horse have to be top-notch. Yeah. And, then everything has to still, come together well for you, because it's still a competition and the combination of two athletes, the horse and the rider. And so everything has to come together well, because it's obviously all super competitive, and, the best of the world are there. And so, things can just go really well for you, or you can have the slightest little mishap and you have a fall or a run out, a refusal on cross country. It happens real quick, and when you do, of course, you're nowhere in the result.
Right. Exactly. Okay, and there's something else. Where this is being held is actually in Greenwich Park, which is London's oldest royal park. So it's kind of a special venue for you to be doing the competition, isn't it?
It really is very special. It's right in the center of London. I mean, it just couldn't be more central, and it's just a privilege for us to be able to go there. And, England is very, very much a horse country.
Right.
So the whole equestrian events will really be, front and center of the game to a certain extent,
All right. Well, I wish you the best of luck. I hope you win. And say hello to the Queen for us.
I'm sure we'll see her. But, the Queen's, here's an interesting little piece of information. The Queen's granddaughter is a girl called Zara Phillips.
Uh-huh.
And Zara Phillips is the daughter of Mark Phillips, and Mark Phillips is the coach of the American team in this particular sport.
Is that right?
Yeah. And, Mark is a real good friend of mine, and he's always, we've always organized events at our farm in Chatsworth and now in our farm in Atlanta. Uh-huh. And so Mark Phillips has always been our course designer. And so Mark has stayed with me for, 25 years, 4, 5, 6 times a year at my house and all. So it's his daughter. He was married to Princess Anne.
Okay.
And it's their daughter, and her name is Zara Phillips, and she's selected for the English team, which is just beyond spectacular, and she's a good rider, but, it's just wonderful that she's selected, because it's very difficult to make the English team, and then for her to make it at the London Olympics in the country of her grandmother. I mean, it's just very, very special, and that's going to add some good flavor to the games.
All right. Well, it's neat for the industry to have a star like you to be in the Olympics. We'll all be pulling for you and watching you do your event. So, again, that's going to be probably on July the 28th, and we'll tune in and take a look.
It's the 28th, 29th, 30th, and 31st, eh?
Okay. Great to talk to you, Carl. Again, we've been talking to Carl Bouckaert with Beaulieu of America, and you've been listening to Kemp Harr and FloorDaily.net.
Bye-bye.